Everything I prepped for my children's school lunches this week to avoid ultra-processed foods. I start by making the bread so it can rise while I'm getting on with other jobs. I just invested in these new scales which can weigh to 0.5 of a gram, which is amazing when you're using such small amounts of yeast and salt. This is a no-knead recipe with a high hydration, and you can find the link for this in my bio. Just look how stretchy the dough is. This is absolutely my favourite part of making bread. I was so in the zone making bread with my music on, and then my husband came home and decided to do this. Anyhow, once I'd recovered and my heart rate was back to normal, I got on with shaping the bread. It really helps with handling the dough if you sprinkle flour on the worktop and on the top of the bread to stop it from sticking to your scraper. I much prefer giving my children bread rolls for their lunches because then I haven't got to worry about cutting a big bread loaf into even slices for their sandwiches. This week it's just going to be plain old ham and cheese for their sandwich filling. We've been eating quite a few oranges recently, and I saved the peel from them to boil with the gammon to make it a slightly orangey flavoured ham. Homemade sliced ham is so much healthier and cheaper than the stinky supermarket stuff which is often reformed. Trim off the fat, and instead of throwing it away, I like to feed it to the birds. I did a glaze with honey and mustard. The recipe link is in my bio, and then I sliced it all up ready to be used in the sandwiches. Any smaller bits I just shredded up with my fingers, and don't waste any of those lovely roasting juices. Pour them over to keep it nice and moist. I'll use this up in sandwiches over the next few days, and any leftovers get frozen, or I use it in a pie at the end of the week. I've noticed with the school dinners, the children always get some kind of cakey pudding and custard at the end. And of course I didn't want my kids to be left out, but of course, me being me, I had to sneak in some kind of fruit and fibre, and this time it came in the form of wholemeal flour and bananas that were a little bit too ripe. Never throw out your banana skins, they make a great plant food. Just add some water and let it sit on the shelf for about 2 weeks before you use it. I'm so glad I made a double batch of this banana bread because as soon as the kids got home from school, they ate almost an entire one. The downside to making everything from scratch is that I can never have an organised Tupperware cupboard for long. If I didn't sit and sort it out at least once a week, then in the mornings I would go mad trying to find the matching lids. Another thing that saves me loads of time is pre-grating all the cheddar. And remember, if you use a mature cheddar cheese, then you need less of it because it's such a strong flavour, and that's better for your waistline. I took a break from the kitchen to pick some lettuces to go in the sandwiches. This will definitely be for my husband's sandwiches and not for my children's because God forbid that they ate something green. And then here's everything I made. I thought I'd include a few examples of what their lunch looks like and other snacks that I put in. Yes, I do give them crisps. I know that they are ultra processed, but I am not a complete monster. And now that I have freshly grated cheese, homemade ham, banana bread and bread rolls, all these things being prepped and ready will just really help me in the mornings when I'm trying to make my kids lunches and have them eating less ultra processed foods.